Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Allie Marie with the Revyve Collective, and this is What the Hemp, a community centered around CBD and hemp, and we're gonna talk about it all. We're gonna bring you guys along on our journey, talk about business, products, hemp, answer your questions, just kind of go through everything with you guys. Welcome to episode 2, Confessions of an Entrepreneur. That would be me. So I think entrepreneurialism and the idea of being an entrepreneur is pretty glamorous right now in 2020. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. It's like the hip, cool thing to do. And I'm not coming from like a judgmental place because I did that for years. But really, I just worked for myself. On and off, since I was out of college, full-time or part-time, I worked for myself and I thought I was being an entrepreneur. I was a personal trainer. I did life insurance. I did a couple different things. And I always worked for myself, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I was an entrepreneur, but I thought it did. And I think it's because being an entrepreneur makes you feel like you've taken the reins. You are in control of your destiny. You can make all of your dreams happen. The sky's the limit. I mean, all of this awesome stuff, but entrepreneur is not 2020 for bibbity bobbity boo. It's not a magic sauce that if you say you're an entrepreneur, then you're just gonna magically be successful if you read enough books and go to all the seminars, which I did. And I'm not sorry about it. I learned a lot of great stuff in those seminars and reading those books, but it doesn't make you an entrepreneur. And I only feel that way because this year I got a taste of what it's actually like to be an entrepreneur, and it's really hard. It's like really hard, way harder than I thought it was going to be. Partially because when we embarked upon this journey this year in 2019, I had no business doing it. No business starting a business at all. I have a degree in exercise science, nutrition, and psychology. I don't have a business degree. I don't have a finance degree. I don't have a biology or a biochemistry degree or a horticulture degree, and I decided to start a hemp company. Okay, sure. That's what my family did. That's what everybody that I knew was like, okay. So they told me they believed in me, right? Oh, we believe in you, sweetie. You can do anything you want to do. You can do anything you set your mind to. And really, they were like, right? They believed in me, but they didn't necessarily like believe me because I had never done anything like this before and I had no idea what I was doing. And so wanting to switch gears so much from what I studied in college, I grew up singing and dancing, like nothing should have led me to this, but it did. And have you ever seen those memes or those videos of people falling and they're tripping and they're falling and you're just waiting for them to like eat it into the dirt and you're just like, come on, just fall already, please. That was us all year long. We were just falling and stumbling and tripping and everybody was like, come on, just do yourself a favor, just fall already. Spoiler alert, we didn't fall. We somehow got that last foot under us and figured it out, or ran into a wall or whatever you want to call it. We didn't fall, but we should have, like so many times. And being an entrepreneur, it's hard because everything is your responsibility. Your success is your responsibility, which is cool. But then also if you fail, it's also your fault. So it's a double-edged sword. And when you're doing something like this that you've never done before, right? And I was not only had I never really been an entrepreneur before, I didn't really know how to start a business, but I had never started a business in this industry. So my husband has been in biochemistry and in this industry for a while and knows a lot about it. And that's kind of why we chose to do hemp. But neither of us really knew what we were doing, like at all. But when you're doing something like this, no one can relate to you. You have such different obstacles and things that are hard that no one else goes through unless they're also a true entrepreneur. Then unless you've been through it, it's really hard to relate to it. So you're telling people about what's going on because they ask, right? They ask me, hey, how's everything going with that hemp thing you're doing? Secretly still hoping it's not marijuana, by the way. That hemp thing. And you start telling them about it. And their eyes kind of glaze over and they just go, uh-huh, oh, great. Wow, sounds like a lot. You got it though, right? And they've got this deer in the headlights look, and they're just kind of like giving you these automated phrases that they're hoping is going to be encouraging and helpful to you, because they can't relate to you at all. They can't give you advice. They don't know what it's like to go through that. And have you guys ever seen those memes with the lions, and you're like, oh, if you're a true leader, you're on your own and you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and take the bullets and whatever else it is about being alone? I never thought those were true. I was like, I'm not alone. I have an amazing crew of friends and family who love me and support me. I'm so not alone. That's bullshit, right? That's not real. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's totally real. Yeah. Yeah, when you embark on an actual entrepreneurial journey, you're totally alone, because no one can understand what you're going through. You can't talk to anybody except for other people that are either going through it with you or have gone through it. And we put everything on the line, like everything. We bootstrapped this thing ourselves, which, again, double-edged sword. Would have been nice to have investor money, would have made things easier, smoother, more comfortable. But because we didn't, we learned so much more, and it was way harder. The amount of times that Austin was like, hey, do we have money for this? And I was like, we need that. We have to figure it out. We have to have money for this. I'm pretty sure figure it out was kind of our motto for 2019, because that's all we did. We just adapted and figured it out. And we did. We figured it out. Now, it cost us 3 times more than we were planning on. And all the CEO books, all the business books say, do not start your business until you have all of the money. Oops. We thought we had all the money. We even planned for it to cost more than we thought it was going to, because they always say that, right? It's going to cost more than you think, and it's going to take longer than you think. Okay, we had this nice little cushion. It cost almost 3 times more than the cushion we had. We were not ready for that, but we figured it out. We didn't really do much for Christmas this year, but we figured it out, and we're not sorry that we did it. Because now we can say that, like, we did it when we had no business doing it. I didn't go to business school. I wasn't handed a whole bunch of money. I didn't have a venture capitalist behind me. I had to figure all of it out on my own. We had never farmed hemp before. Even with our team's extensive knowledge of the hemp plant and how it grows and what it does, we made an amazing product, but we'd never farmed outside before. We had never tried to extend our season. Rather than growing outside, we grew in hoop houses, trying to extend our season because we planted really late. We also built the hoop houses ourselves, which took 3 weeks. We thought it was going to take 10 days. It's like everything that could have gone wrong or gotten messed up did. And somehow it ended up all okay, but only because we had an awesome team of people. Like if I was doing this by myself, there's no way I would be still doing this. I would probably be curled up in a ball in a corner, like rocking myself, being like, it's okay, you're okay. Because it's really, really hard. It's really hard. Also, in the hemp industry this year, everything changed for smokable flower. So most people before 2019 were growing for biomass. Biomass is when you do a modified combine and you cut down all the hemp plants, and you, after drying it and everything, you grind everything up. This is a very modified version. You grind everything up. So you grind the flowers and the stems and the leaves all up, and you pelletize it or turn it into a substance that can be then extracted, and you turn it into the oils and the CBD products that you see around everywhere. That's usually what people grew for. Now, hemp flower started to catch on in late 2019 or 2018, 2019 as this really new cool thing that people wanted to do, because it was just like marijuana, but it's not going to get you high, but you can smoke it in the same way. So these huge farms that usually did for biomass found out they could cut off the top of their plants and sell that as actual flower, and then still use the bottom of their plants for biomass. and you make more money per pound doing flour than you do biomass. So there was an insane influx of hemp flour this year, like way more than we were prepared for, and way more than the industry honestly was prepared for. People were trying to figure out where to get rid of it. The prices plummeted because of supply and demand things, and it was crazy. Nobody was prepared for the amount of influx of hemp flour. Well, that's what we grew for. So in 2018, we knew what the prices were. All through 2019, we were prepared for these awesome prices. Even if we cut it in half, we were going to still make great money. And then Croptober happens. That's what we call it. Croptober, where most, if not all of the farms come down between the end of September to middle of October. And the influx of hemp flour was insane. And we were not prepared for that, because we have hemp flour, but we have way less than a lot of other people do. So when the price is cut into a quarter of what you were planning on, we can't sustain that. There was no way. So we had to, again, figure it out. And we decided to create almost all of our product into pre-rolls. So we took all of our really beautiful, gorgeous hemp flour and ground it up. All of it. Ground it all up. And we've had so many people talk to us and be like, did that not just like hurt your heart to see like this gorgeous hemp flour? Because it looked beautiful. The certificate of analysis came back great. It was really high quality flour. And they were like, it didn't not like hurt your heart to grind all of it up. And I mean, I guess a little bit, but honestly not really, because the point wasn't the flour. The point was to create a product that could be so beneficial to people that would actually help them. And if there's a huge market for hemp flour, then grinding it up and putting it into pre-rolls for people, we were like, this should be we were making the end product for you. So we thought. So we found out that pre-rolls have a horrible rap as being junk, because most farmers take all the crap they can't sell as actual flour. It's like the leftover shake and crap at the bottom. And that's what they put into pre-rolls and sell to people. Well, we took our really nice flour and ground it up to sell to people. But people don't know that. You can't look at it and especially with an untrained eye and know the difference. So people are looking at our stuff and going, oh my gosh, really? You think you're gonna just like sell us pre-rolls? And so we have to do all this explanation about how it's greenhouse grown and it's freshly ground by hand, and we make everything in small batches, and look at our COAs, and it takes a lot of explanation and education. And we're excited to change the stigma of pre-rolls, because you deserve to be able to have the same experience smoking a pre-roll you buy as you would smoking a pre-roll you make. I don't think it should be any different. And I don't think that people should be charging premium prices for something that's not a premium quality product. Just my personal opinion. I'll step off my soapbox and digress now. The other thing that was crazy is the amount of things that I had to do that I wasn't good at. Now, a lot of the self-help books and how to run a business books will tell you, don't try and get good at the things you're not good at. Just hire them out. Just hire them out. Stop spending a whole bunch of time trying to figure out how to get good at things you don't want to do. To a certain extent, that's true. I'm not an accountant. I don't want to be an accountant. I'm not going to learn how to be an accountant. That I will totally hire out. I'm not doing it. Everything else, I got to do, because we bootstrapped the whole thing. We didn't have a ton of extra money at the end of the season to be able to hire people. And with the unexpected issues that we ran into with making the pre-rolls, sales were a lot slower than we expected them to be. And so we had to roll with the punches and figure it out. Again, motto for 2019, that like tripping and falling thing, it just keeps going. We had to figure it out. And I had no idea how to do marketing. I had no idea how to create a financial forecast. I had no idea how to write a business plan. Yeah. I had no idea how S Corps or C Corps or LLCs really truly worked. I didn't know about SEO marketing. Oh my gosh, the list goes on about the things that I didn't know. But I knew that I was passionate about what we were doing, that our purpose and our mission is huge, and that we can figure this out. So we did. And I sat down and I spent tons of hours, like hundreds of hours. Thank God for the internet. Oh my Lord, I am so grateful for the internet and the World Wide Web and all of the free information out there, because that's how I learned how to do everything. I figured out what it looks like to do a financial forecast. I figured out how to write a business plan and make an effective company with a structure that is actually gonna like be sustainable and can work for multiple years to come and actually employ people and change the world and make an impact like we're trying to, like I didn't know how to do last year. I also had no idea how to do content marketing. I have no experience with marketing. The little bit that I've done on social media is like sad compared to what I needed to be able to do. So I figured it out. Started watching a ton of videos. Gary Vee, shout out to you. Holy crap, your content marketing, thank you. I appreciate you. I read tons of books. I watched YouTube videos. How do you start a podcast? How do you do a YouTube video? How do you not look dumb on a YouTube video? Apparently I missed that video. It's fine, I have weird faces. You're welcome. We figured it out, and I created an entire content marketing plan before the first of the year, and we're just rolling it out and we're just going. And that's kind of what I talked about in my last episode, is like, we don't know what we're doing, and we're just bringing you along for the ride, and we're going to show you all the messy, crazy stuff that we're doing, because we will hopefully this will help somebody. Hopefully this will inspire someone that is trying to be like, well, I have this great idea that I'm so passionate about, but I don't have any money, or I would love to start this, but I don't have this credential, or I haven't gone to school for this, or whatever. Y'all don't need it. You need a ton of tenacity and the inability to give up. I don't know if that's being too stupid to give up or too smart to give up. I think it depends on who you talk to. But now that we've done it, and now that I am putting out content marketing on a daily basis, and we are making sales, and things are starting to catch on, and we're focused on creating value and education and bringing value to you guys, because that's the point. People are starting to catch on, and it's very little, right? It's like little bits here and there, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it's scary. Like, this is still super intimidating to me, and I'm about to record our first podcast because I finally figured out the updates for my computer and everything, which took a really long time, because also not a tech person. Computers and I are not friends. Figured it out. It's cool. And it's almost midnight. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because it's not about us, it's about you guys, and we really believe in what we're doing. So I guess to wrap this up, and my whole point of Confessions of an Entrepreneur is we did everything wrong. We are the epitome of the falling through the video, like, oh my Lord. And it's all okay. We figured it out. It's worth it. If I had to do all of it over again exactly the same way, hopefully I'd make a couple better decisions along the way, because another thing about being an entrepreneur and the decision maker in the group is when things go well, you give all of the credit away because you couldn't do it by yourself, and it's not about you. When things go badly, you usually take most of the blame and carry the burden of the decision making, and if you make a bad decision, it's on you. And that kind of has to be, it's part of the job description. It has to be okay with you. And it's totally okay with me. But it's definitely hard. Like, that burden gets heavy sometimes. But it's worth it. Oh my gosh, I would do it again in a heartbeat. And we've put more life into a year than a lot of people put into 5 or 10 years. And it's been so hard. And we've wanted to give up a lot. There's been so many times where we've sat there and we're like, no idea what we're going to do. No idea what we're going to do. But we always had friends and family who believed in us and would say those really nice, encouraging things, always at the right times. And my favorite book is The Traveler's Gift. If you haven't read it, you should go read it. I read it at least once a year. It's by far my favorite book I've ever read. And there's a piece in there that says, I don't need to always have the ability to make the right decision, because I always have the ability to make a decision and then make it right. And when you have to choose whether or not to act or not to act, just do it. Just act and then figure it out, because you can. So I hope this helped you guys a little bit. Confessions of an Entrepreneur. There's so many more things that I could go into about the rights and wrongs and what we did and the mistakes we made and how it worked out and whatever. So comment below, ask your questions. We'd love to hear from you guys. We'd love to hear your stories. If you have something like this or can relate to this at all, we would love to hear your story, because we need more people, right? We need to be able to connect. So I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to have your questions. If you like this video, please comment, please share, please like it. I've had a lot of people tell me that the last video was great. Share it with your friends. Be like, hey, go watch this girl and her weird faces and her similes and imagery that are funny or whatever. I don't care. She has a nice plant. Whatever. Just tell your friends about it, because we all need to support each other in this process, and we would so appreciate it. We'll post another video next Thursday. Love you all, and have a great night. Thank you for tuning in to What the Hemp.